You know how sometimes you can look at a word you've seen 1,000 times, a really simple, everyday word, and suddenly realize it holds a key to something way bigger? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're taking one of those words and using it to unlock a pretty fascinating story about language itself. So, here's the thing that kicked this whole investigation off. Our source material, just a simple dictionary entry, gives us this one single curious clue. It just says, flat out, that the word nation is on the Basic English 850 list. And that one little sentence, that's where our whole journey begins. Right? That was my first thought too. What in the world is a Basic English 850 list? And of all the thousands and thousands of words in the English language, why is nation so important that it has to be on this list? That's a mystery we're going to solve together. Okay, so before we can crack the code of this list, we've got to get a really good handle on our main piece of evidence. So let's just start with the word at the center of it all. What exactly is a nation? So on the most basic level, the source tells us nation is just a noun. It means a country or a political entity. You know, you can picture it, right? A place with borders on a map. Simple enough. Well, hold on, because this is where it gets interesting. Check out these two examples, taken straight from our source. The first one fits our definition perfectly. Mexico is a nation of immigrants. Okay, country, borders, got it. But then you look at the second one. The Canadian government is working with the Mohawk Nation. That's different, isn't it? And this little contrast shows us the two faces of the word. On one hand, you have nation as a political state, a country. But on the other, you have nation as a people, a community that's all tied together by a shared culture and history, like the Mohawk Nation. It's just one word, but it's carrying two really distinct, really important meanings. All right, so we've got a good grip on the word now. It's time to solve that first mystery we started with. What is this special list actually all about? The key to this whole thing, believe it or not, comes down to just this one number, 850. So the Basic English 850 list, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It is a complete, simplified version of the English language that's designed to work using a core vocabulary of only 850 carefully picked words. The whole idea is that with just these words, you can say almost anything fundamental you need to say. And the thinking behind it? Well, it was incredibly ambitious. This was created to be a tool for international communication, a way to make English way more accessible for people learning it as a second language, and to push all of us to express our thoughts with real clarity and simplicity. But this brings us right back to our word. If you're trying to build a simple language, why would you include a word like nation, which, as we just saw, has these multiple, kind of complex meanings? I mean, you'd think a word on a basic list would have to be totally straightforward, right? One-dimensional, no confusion. Well, this is where you start to see the real genius of this system. Check this out. According to the data, nation isn't just on the Basic English list. It's also on the academic vocabulary list, which means it's essential for university-level work. And it's one of the 1,000 most common words in everyday English. So this isn't just a basic word, it's a totally foundational one. So here's the big idea, the crucial point. A word can be simple enough to be essential for a beginner, but also powerful enough to be essential for a scholar. The best words, the most important words, they do both. They're like the bedrock of our language. Okay, so if these 850 words are the foundation, how in the world do you build more complex ideas on top of that? Let's take a look at how that actually works. Yeah, the best way to picture a system like Basic English is not as a cage that limits you. Think of it more like a starter set of building blocks, like Legos. They are the most essential, most versatile pieces you need to start putting meaning together. And here's that concept in action. Once you have that core building block, the word nation, you've basically got the key to unlock a whole family of related ideas. You can understand national, you can grasp nationalism, nation-state, and even big concepts like the United Nations, all because you started with that one core piece. And it makes total sense that nation would be one of those core blocks. I mean, as our source shows, the word for it exists in dozens of languages all over the world, from Arabic to Nihongo to Kiswahili. It's a universal human idea, so of course it needs to be part of any basic vocabulary for global communication. This is so important to remember. The point of Basic English was never to replace the incredible richness of the full English language. No way. The goal was to build a bridge, a shared, common foundation that anyone, from anywhere, could stand on to start a real, meaningful conversation. So let's bring this all home. We started with just a single word on a pretty weird list. And where did it take us? What's the big idea we've unpacked here? It all boils down to this. We found out that simplicity is not the opposite of power. In language, it's actually the foundation of it. Having a core set of essential words isn't a limitation. It's an incredibly powerful tool for creating clear understanding and connection across cultures and across borders. And that's our whole journey, all starting from just one word. Which kind of leaves me with a final thought for you to chew on. If you were handed that set of 850 essential building blocks, what are the most important ideas that you would make sure you could build?